to make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal! Go, 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 go!
Six!
It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Wake up and hit the ground running. It's The Rush, presented by Willis Auto, with Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bringing you raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic talk about sports, life, and everything else that matters. No filtered, no fluff, just The Rush.
Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you along on a Wednesday. Of course, if you're in the market for a new, used, or certified pre-owned car, Willis Automotive is the place to go. Make sure to start your journey at willisauto.com. If you're listening on the audio stream this morning at therushradio.com, the Rush Radio Android app, or the TuneIn app, thank you so much. If you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give this video a like. Leave your comments in the comment section. And, of course, follow us on our social media channels. Good morning, Ross Peterson. What's going on?
Morning, bud. How's your how is sunny, warm Arizona?
Well, let's put it this way. I have not seen any sun in Arizona yet. We got in at night. I got up and it was warm, but it was chilly by the time I got back to my hotel last night. It got down into the 50s, I think, last night. So I haven't seen the sun.
Desert.
I haven't felt the warmth yet. It's supposed to be 73 in Phoenix today. 73
Same
is not
here.
bad.
Funny thing, same here in Des Moines. It's 73 high today.
Yeah, I'm not quite believing you because I got an alert on my phone this morning that my backyard camera is off because it's so damn cold.
Oh, no way. No way. We've been chatting for an hour and everything's been fine. His internet got better as we got closer to coming on the air. And now all of a sudden he's freezing and done. Are you kidding me? You got to be kidding me with this. I hope this is Travis and not me. He's the one on internet Wi-Fi. I just heard a ding. Oh boy. Oh boy. Justin Miller, hope you're up and listening because oh boy, we might need some help here today. Travis's internet is that blue steel. What a great comment, Jay. Oh, darn it. Well, we'll have to see. Travis is down in Arizona as he was getting ready to tell us there. He got sent down for some corporate synergizing. They're down there, a group of folks. Oh, there you are. You're back. You're back.
I'm trying.
I got you. You're good,
Okay.
buddy.
That was weird, wasn't it?
We'll even do that to help people out. Yeah, you just kind of froze for a moment, and that was I was like, no way, man. It's worked for an hour. We've been sitting here talking, and it's been wonderful. Solid.
Crystal clear communication, and all of a sudden, you know what's happening? People are waking up, and they're getting on the Wi-Fi systems. That's what's happening.
Justin better get up and shower because he's going to need to be on camera here before too long.
It's funny. It's funny. I texted him before the show started. I said, dude, can you just be on standby? I'm on hotel Wi-Fi, and you never know what's going to happen on the hotel Wi-Fi. Guess what I did yesterday?
What?
Besides fly to Phoenix. Yesterday was the first day of Southwest Airlines assigned seating. And so I actually had an assigned seat when I got on a Southwest Airlines flight.
How do you feel about that?
I was never one that really cared about the open seating. It never bothered me. I was always in an A or B group. I was in C every once in a while. I don't mind sitting in the middle if I have to. My wife aren't, people, when my wife and I travel together, we're not ones that, we got to sit by each other. Now, when we go international, we like to sit by each other, but it was a fine process. How I feel about it is this. I've noticed that Southwest is now not as cheap. They're charging for bags. The great thing about Southwest is it used to be you got your first 2 bags free. Now you got to pay for them unless you have a Southwest Chase credit card. But it was really hard to tell because, Ross, I essentially flew private yesterday. There were only 40 people on the plane on the way.
Wow.
Yeah, so I had I had my entire row to myself. Yeah. I looked at my buddy, my boss. I said, this is borderline flying private. There's nobody around us. And so, but
I've been on a few flights like that in my life. That's nice. That's good.
Yeah. So all day meetings.
Can I ask, why didn't you guys just fly private down there?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. We've done that once. We did that when we went to Indianapolis a couple years ago. In fact, I forget what Big Ten. We planned our meeting around the Big Ten championship game, and we flew private to Indianapolis, and that was really nice. Maybe they just said, well,
so
hours are too long.
You kind of froze as you were headed down to hopefully maybe even see an NBA game last night, right? But you guys got there a little late.
No, the original plan was to come down on Sunday. So we were all going to go to a Sunday. Okay. Yeah, we were going to go to an NBA game on Sunday, to, hang out, have all day Sunday in Phoenix. What happened was we ended up having a project that we had to submit some proposals on. We had to push the dates. So now I flew into Phoenix last night, got it here at 8. We went out for a quick dinner, got back to the hotel room. I'm in this meeting room that quite possibly could be the worst meeting room I've ever been in. And then I'm in here till 5 o'clock this afternoon, 6 o'clock your time. I'll go out to dinner, then get start prepping for the show tomorrow, and get up at 3 a.m. and do it all over again. Then hop on a plane tomorrow at 6 and get home about 11 o'clock at night.
All to synergize.
All to synergize, man. Synergize and strategize.
The flying thing, Travis. I think you and I are probably a lot alike in that. I'm not real particular. I can sit in the middle seat and I'm fine with that. I can do aisle or window and I'm okay. I know that there are people that are really particular, so I let them have whatever that particularity is, and then I kind of fall in line behind it. I don't mind being the last guy on the plane. I prefer to be one of the last ones on the plane. You're going to have to sit there long enough. I've never understood the idea, especially if there's assigned seating. Southwest, when you're doing the free-for-all, I get it. You want to get there so you can, especially if you're a seat or if you're a window aisle exit row guy. I feel bad for my buddies that are like 6'4" and taller because, man, they almost have to be in an exit row in order to be comfortable, right? So that's fine. I want to be the last guy on the plane so that I don't have to sit there for as long.
Can I ask you a question about the airlines? And every airline does this. They do their pre-board, then your first class passengers, and then they start boarding from front to back usually. Wouldn't it be smarter to board back to front and then deplane front to back?
Exactly, Travis. I don't understand why they don't do this. I've never understood. Boarding group A should be the back of the plane.
Amen.
I completely agree with you. But hey, we got to treat special people special, Travis. I mean, we can't charge them $900 to sit in the exact same seat unless we give them something. We got to give them something. So that little something we're going to give them is we're going to make you feel more special than the rubes around you. Don't feel like the unwashed. You're not one of the pores. Watch, we're gonna give you special status here. Watch.
Yeah. When I walk by first class passengers, I'm thinking to myself, okay, your seat's guaranteed, right? I mean, you've got more room for your ass.
So why are you here?
Yeah, exactly. And you know what you have to do? You have to watch every Tom, Dick, and Harry walk by you, hit you with a bag, and you're just sitting there. I'm like, wouldn't you want to be the last ones on to where you don't have to walk on with everybody? You can stay out in the terminal, be on your phone, the conventional wisdom here, if we were to run an airline, you and I should take over Delta, United.
Yeah, we should.
Some of these
That's
airlines
what we should do.
And say, hey, we're going to do this, and we're going to spin it positively that we're going to load back to front. And we're going to give first class passengers free drinks, even though they get them anyway. But you kind of sell, hey, it's a better experience for you. That's what I would do.
What if we offered the first class passengers a drink in the concourse?
Most of them would probably take it.
Meaning, hey, while we board the pores, we're going to put all the schleps in the back of the plane here, okay? You folks, enjoy a nice cocktail, okay? We got some sangria. You just chill. Want a mimosa? Want a mint julep? Have a mint julep. We're gonna get the schmucks into the back of the plane for you. All the unwashed. You don't even want to think if you have to sit there and those pores have to walk past you. You have to smell them, and then they also have to do that thing where they have to fake ignore you. Like they don't want to look at you and be like, "What up, first class?" So they all are like,
and that's what it is. It's like they give you these stare, like, don't look at me like that. What are you looking at me for? Or you're looking at like, I'm in first class, bitch. I'm in first class. I did see something yesterday, and somebody asked, did they miss my bad travel experience? No, I didn't have a bad travel experience yesterday. Normally, but I do observe, when I'm on, and I saw something yesterday that I've never seen. So, Ross, when you go on a plane, what are you allowed? You're allowed a bag that goes under the seat, and you're allowed a bag that fits.
Yeah, I never do the 2 bag. That's a women thing. Women are allowed 2 bags. They're allowed their purse and their carry-on.
I got 2 bags. Okay, so I have my work backpack, which is this, which goes underneath the seat, and then I have my carry-on bag. Okay, because I got all my work stuff in here. I saw something yesterday I've never seen, because I've seen people violate this. We had the carry-on bag, the large purse, and then a kind of a third. And the gate agent goes, "Hey, you got 3 bags there." She goes, "Yeah." He goes, "You're only allowed 2." And he made her go back and check one of them. He goes, "Sorry."
You know what? First of all, good. Second of all, we never should have got to the point where we were allowing 2. See, Mark wrote in, and Mark's like, "Hey, I have no problem letting the pores and the unwashed get on the plane first, but you make sure that the pores and the unwashed don't take all the overhead space from."
But see, and I think
that's a good point, by the way. I'm not picking on Mark.
But I think you would have more orderly use of the overhead space, right?
If we just told people, "Hey, you get to bring 1 bag." Women, you can bring a purse. You can bring a purse, and that can go underneath the seat. But this thing of like, everybody gets to bring 2 bags, and you can put 1 under the seat in front of you, and then everybody goes and basically fills. Then there's 9. As one of those unwashed that is the last person on the plane, I'm like the leper that they let on last, right? How often do I hear, "Folks, sorry, we've filled up the overhead space compartment. We need, let's see, we're doing the, we need 17 people to check their bag. And if we don't get 17 people to volunteer, we're just going to randomly select people to throw their bags in the back."
And that bag we were going to charge you for before, we'll do it complimentary.
We're going to go ahead and waive that fee now. We're going to waive that fee. Our shareholders, we just got the phone. Our shareholders are really willing to take it in the shorts for this one. We're going to waive that second bag fee, folks. That's right. Second bag fees are waived. Here on the 5 o'clock to Tucson.
But I would think if you loaded back to front, it would be more orderly for the overhead bin space. I because you'd say they'd all be open. You'd go back and just start filling in.
What is there any concern that if we load the back of the plane first, the plane will tip before we can fill the entire plane? You know who Senator Hank Johnson is? That a real thing?
It's funny. We only had like 40, 50 people on the plane last night.
Yeah.
And they're like, everybody must stay in their assigned seat because for weight balance, we need you where you're at. We purposely did this. So obviously the plane's not going to tip, but they were like, please do not move your seat because you're there for a reason, and it's about the balance and the weight distribution of the plane. At least that's what they told us.
Huh.
Yeah. Anything else you would change about flying? So the way you board, is there anything else you would change about flying?
I'd like more tricks. I wish the plane would do more tricks while I was up there. I think that's one of the things our airline could do would be like, hey, buckle up.
Okay, we're gonna you're flying along and do a little barrel roll.
Yeah, right, exactly. Folks, welcome aboard the 5 o'clock to Tucson. Looks like clear skies. Going to be at about 30,000 feet. Going to try 2 barrel rolls on the way to Tucson today.
We'll make sure to illuminate the fasten seatbelt sign when we do said barrel rolls. But we'll give you plenty of time to prepare.
Conditions are just right. We might perform a backflip on the way into the runway.
We're gonna go straight vertical and enter into a stall, and then come back down to see if we can recover out of it. We should get my cousin on. He's a pilot for United to say, we need more tricks. We need more tricks. Could you do a barrel roll if you needed to do so?
Beautiful flying temperature, 73 degrees right now. We're going to have looks like very little turbulence. Might get in a firefight on the way over there. We're going to see if American Airlines is willing to participate. And
or hey, look at that. We got United 272. Hey, there's a Southwest 433 over there. We're going to do a formation like the Blue Angels right now. We're going to see how close we can get to their wing.
See, David, I'm so glad David got my story. David understood my tone and the joke I was going for. It was an obscure one. It was an obscure reference from a long time ago. Representative Hank Johnson. This is a real thing that happened on Capitol Hill in a U.S. congressional hearing, talking to a Navy admiral about Guam. And he was talking about how many soldiers and how many boats and how many ships and how much stuff were packing onto the island of Guam. And a U.S. representative who's been in Congress for decades asked the U.S. Navy admiral if there was any concern about the island tipping over because we were putting too much weight on it.
So said U.S. Senator thought
Hank
the
Johnson.
island was just floating?
Yes, thought the island was floating and that if we put too much stuff on it, we were going to, he literally goes like, are we going to capsize the island? And the Navy admiral in a U.S. congressional hearing had to look at this representative and say, no, sir, that's not something we've been concerned about. True story.
Why?
David, glad you got that.
How long ago was that?
Let's see. We'll find it. It doesn't take long. Hank Johnson Guam will give us all the answers we need to know because it was a pretty famous thing. Guam will capsize and tip over into the ocean. Oh man, it was from 2010.
So he must be a flat earther then, right? I mean,
he's been a member of the U.S. House of Representatives since 2007.
And he's still there?
He's still there.
That's like an
you don't lose a
unelectable
job.
That's like an unelectable comment, right? You're like, your congressman just asked if an island would capsize, become the lost city of Atlantis.
So yeah, so maybe there's a reason they can't load planes from the back, Trav. The pilots are up front. Whoa.
Slow down back there. We're riding a wheelie. We're riding
Can
a
we
wheelie.
Can we get somebody to stand on the front of the plane?
Anchor us down. Oh man, I did not know that capsized island story. That's really good. Yeah, because when you said it,
the flying thing is right though, Trav. I've thought that for a long time. Why don't they load planes from the back to the front? Make it so much easier. We deplane from front to back. Unless there's some emergency, then they change that up quick.
Yeah, or you do have the people who are in the back. I got a flight to catch. Excuse me.
Nope. If it's important, they make the announcement.
No, or you just miss your flight like everybody else would probably miss their flight. Right?
The thing of like I'm more important and I gotta go. No, because they will come on and say, we've got a passenger that has to get a connecting flight, and we're making the arrangements to make. Anyway, I like it. I like it that we have fixed. Oh, here we got a call.
Oh,
we got
really?
a call coming in. Sorry, because I'm running the call screener today.
Yeah.
So again, you guys have rabbit brain watching the call screener, so apologize for that. Oh my gosh, this is a guy that knows something about loading planes.
Really?
Yeah. I don't see his name, so let's just put him on the air here and see how this works out. Okay.
Okay.
I believe we have him on the air. Thanks for calling into the Rush. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Travis and Ross. I don't know a lot about loading planes, but you know, on smaller planes, you have to tell them your weight, and you have to be honest, right?
Yep.
Well, commercial planes, I found out about a year ago, they just estimate. We had a plane overweight in Des Moines, and they had to let someone off before we could take off. But they estimate the weight of each passenger and the weight of your clothing, and in winter they had 10 pounds per person.
10 pounds?
Yep. They take the number of people, they have the average weight they estimate, and then they add 10 pounds a person because everyone's fatter in the winter.
Everyone's fatter, and they can't tell. I thought you meant 10 pounds in clothes, and I'm looking at my wardrobe trying to figure out how much my clothes weigh, but the extra clothes lets them hide the extra pounds.
Exactly. So, but I've never had that happen on a commercial plane where they say we're overweight and we have to get a person or two off.
Boy, if you were randomly selected for that, how mad would you be? Sorry, sir.
Oh my God.
We're over, because then if they pick you, you're like, are you profiling me? Are you profiling me? Are you saying I'm fat?
If they pick me, I'd be like,
or they go up and down the aisle and ask you to certify your weight. That'd be fun.
I'm always in the bargaining mood. Oh, you're going to ask me to leave? What do I get? do I get a first-class ticket? Do I get $1,000 in travel vouchers?
Yeah.
What do I get for this? I'm always the first to sign up when they need volunteers to remove yourself from a flight, unless I'm in a super hurry. But I'm like, well, you're offering $250 right now. I'm gonna go up and say, give me $4, give me $5, and we might have a deal. $250 is not going to cover the one-way port. I want a full round-trip ticket out of this thing. I'm doing you a favor. That's it. Somebody said earlier, and that MythBusters actually did an episode on it, and it had surprising results.
On loading planes?
Unloading planes.
Oh, really? That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. Huh. Thanks for the call, man. Good stuff.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
See
sir.
you, man.
Rob wrote in and said, it kind of sounds like that old state fair game where they would guess your weight. They used to have that at Adventureland, too.
Oh, I remember it.
Guess your age, guess your weight. Had to be within, 5 pounds or 3 years or something like that? I would be horrible at that game. I'd be horrible.
Wasn't it always like in the eyes, too? I mean, there was a trick that they taught people, if I remember correctly, that there was something that would give it away visually within your eyes or...
Really?
Yeah. Because I remember that game because you could always win like the Major League Baseball hard hat. You know what I'm talking about? The old batting helmets. You go to Adventureland like, hey, guess your weight, guess your age for an Astros helmet.
See, at Adventureland, for me, to win those little plastic helmets, it was always speedball. Which, again, another like nearly impossible game, right? Remember speedball? You got the 3 pitches. The speedball.
Not skee-ball. Not skee-ball.
Not skee-ball where you're throwing them. Speedball where you're throwing baseballs, and you had to guess your speed. So you'd get 2 throws, and then you'd be like, all right, guess your third guess. It'd be like 48. And I'd be like, oh, I'm loose now. I'm going to go 51. 46. What?
How did that happen? I was at a fundraiser last week, and they had the speedball game there. You could pay $10 for 3 pitches. And the amount of people who thought, man, I'm going to be in the upper 70s. I know I'm going to be in the upper 70s. I go, you're not hitting 70. You're 50 years old. You're not hitting 70.
Best thing that Principal Park ever did. One of the brilliant marketing things that they did at one point in time. They used to have the nightly winner. So they'd have like a little whiteboard, just a little whiteboard sitting up right there by the speedball thing, and it would be like tonight's fastest pitch, Drew Davis, 87 miles an hour. Tonight's fastest pitch, Anthony Crum, 89 miles an hour. And then they'd announce it. So you'd be at the game and you'd hear your buddy's name. Be like, tonight's best speedball thrown by
Chris Flagg.
Well, Flagg, I don't think he had that sort of gas in his arm.
Would you have people hit 80s at the Iowa Cubs games?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yeah. 80s isn't crazy. 80s isn't crazy, Trav. It's not. For a high school baseball player,
that's fair.
In Iowa, that's what we're talking about. For a dad to go down there and throw 80, that's impressive.
Yeah.
some dude in blue jeans and, his Red Wing boots. He goes down there and chucks up to 80.
I don't think I ever hit 80 in my lifetime.
No, I didn't either.
Even when I was a high school pitcher.
I don't think I've hit a ball 80. Maybe a driver, but
yeah, I would say in high school when I was pitching, I was probably in the mid 70s, but that dropped off fast. And then when I threw real hard, you get the tingle in the elbow, and you're like, oh.
I saw somebody put that in there. That speedball was like a walking shoulder injury. Because you'd be fine. You'd be totally good. You'd go down there. 4 seconds later, 3 pitches later, you're like, I think I did something.
I need some Bengay. Need some Icy Hot. Need some ibuprofen. Help me out.
Adventureland had that entire area of carnival games. There was the throw the ring over the top of the bottle. Remember, they'd have the 1,000 Pepsi bottles there, and you had to throw the plastic ring, and if it landed on it, you'd win this enormous monkey or something. Smash the frog onto the plate. You know that game?
Yeah, and do I remember correctly the horse racing game where you take the like shoot the water gun?
Yes, the water gun, and your horse would race across.
I remember that. Those are classics.
The poor guy that had to like bark for that though. Remember that? The poor guy that had to because all the others, they would just sit there. All the others, they'd just sit there and you want to do the ring toss? Here. You want to play skee ball? But the poor dude at the horse race had to not only entice people in, he had to carnival bark him in, then he had to call the stupid race.
Here comes the number 3 horse out of the gate. Yeah.
And then
I remember that.
How boring that would get over time. It might be fun for a minute. You'd have fun with it. Then after a while, it'd be like, bring, and they're off. Looks like the 5 horse is doing good. 3 horse can't hit the target.
I don't know why I wasn't hireable. I always wanted a job during college at Adventureland. I never got one. I wanted a job at Adventureland. And that was back in the day where they wore, remember the orange and yellow, and you had the white pants on? I'm like, I'm going to work at Adventureland. Never got a job at Adventureland. Kind of bums me out. 515-517-2303 is the number to call if you want to have fun with this. A lot to talk about today. Iowa's going to be in action tonight taking on USC at Carver Hawkeye Arena. The Hawkeye football schedule is officially released. We knew who they were going to play. However, now we know the dates of when those games are going to be played.
And the order.
We can. What's that?
And the order.
And the order. There's some back-to-back games that are going to be tough for the Hawks, no doubt about it. And some other college football news. But don't forget, when you're looking for something really good to drink, we want you to go to Central City Liquors. We got a nice call from, or a text from Brian Duax yesterday. The Maker's Mark that Ross went to do a tasting with Brian in is coming out very, very soon, right? What did he say? Later this week, I think he said?
I thought that's what he said. Yeah, I could go back and look. He said that they got the release date. It's going to be dropping here at Central City pretty soon. Fantastic.
And we'll let you know when that happens. Of course, it does. You don't even have to wait for the Maker's Mark. They got plenty of bourbon, plenty of scotch, plenty of tequila, plenty of vodka, all your mixers. It's Central City Liquors, your home for the best liquor experience in Iowa.
Are you playing the commercials?
Yeah, I'm going to play the commercials.
Okay, all right.
I'll play the commercials.
I got you.
Because I'm a control freak that way.
That's
good. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
This is Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
Keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
My name's Gary Presnell, and I'm a residential home mortgage banker for Northwest Bank in Des Moines Metro Market. I've been financing people's homes for over 25 years, and I'm an expert in financing VA loans, FHA loans, IFA loans, and new construction homes. This is my cat Norm. Norm knows football, but he doesn't know mortgage. And that's where I come in. There are a lot of Tom, Dick, and Norms out there doing loans. So don't just trust anyone with your home loan. I'm your local, trusted, experienced expert.
Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, I'm John Linares with Willis Lexus, and it's January and the deals got better. And our lease rates went down. We have a promotional 42-month term, which makes for a great value. On all gas models, we also have 2.99 for 48 months, 3.99 for 60, and 4.99 for 72 months. We've replenished our inventory of RZ this month, and we have 4 in stock. They have 0% up to 72 months, along with $2,000 of bonus cash. Stop in and see us or visit us online at willislexus.com.
Hi, it's Noel. If you're thinking about popping the question, start with a jeweler you can trust. At Fiscus Jewelers, we offer the largest inventory in Ankeny, featuring stunning engagement rings and rare and forever natural diamonds, pre-screened with advanced technology. If you don't see exactly what you're looking for, we'll custom design it together, and our CAD drawings are always free. And when it's time to say I do, don't forget the guys. We offer the largest selection of men's wedding bands around. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
Back to the rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show. Good to have you along on a Wednesday. Starting you off right. Rock and roll. Ross, the Iowa Hawkeyes should be rested and ready for the USC Trojans tonight. They've been off 8 days. 8 days since the Iowa basketball team has played. And I sit there and go, oh, it's good to get the rest. But, man, when you get in a routine and you take that many days off, I would not be surprised if Iowa – I'm not saying they're going to, but if they started off slow tonight, it wouldn't shock me just getting back into the rhythm of playing a game. Right?
I think that's fair. You've been sitting for a week, and Travis, this is one of those deals that when I pulled up ESPN this morning, I've got them listed as with Drake and UNI and Iowa State as kind of like my favorite teams. It popped up that game tonight. It was like, oh yeah, I haven't seen them it's been a month since we saw the Hawkeyes.
Seems like it.
It can feel like it, right? So I'm with you. A little bit of rust, I think, would be. It's okay to weather that. This is a game that I'm hoping that the Hawkeyes get a W tonight, right? I mean, you're going to be favored in this game by 10 points.
Yeah, I didn't look at the line. I don't know if it's that much. The team's records are fairly similar. Iowa is 21 in the Ken Palm, 21 in the NET. USC is 50 in the Ken Palm, 59 in the NET. Record-wise, they're similar, but Iowa's probably I don't have the lineup, but I would guess probably 7.5 to 8. Double digits would surprise me, but as you bring it up,
hold on, we're almost there. Get to the famous ESPN 9.5.
9.5.
Over under 141.5. Matchup predictor, Hawkeye fans, rest easy, 78%.
There you go.
Matchup predictor in favor of the Hawkeyes.
Now,
6 o'clock tip tonight at Carver.
this is one of those teams you don't see that often. You will now that they're in the Big Ten Conference, but it's USC's first trip to Iowa City since 1982. And these two programs actually share a common bond, and that common bond is George Raveling. George Raveling took over for Lute Olson, and then after his stint in Iowa City, went to USC to be the head coach. So tonight, Ross, both teams are going to take the time to honor George Raveling, who meant something to both programs. I was thinking about this in the shower this morning. The stuff you think about in a shower. Is George Raveling the forgotten about coach at Iowa? I mean, we always go Lute Olson, Tom Davis. It's like we gloss over George Raveling and really his contribution to the Iowa basketball program based on his recruiting and what he left Dr. Tom. He wasn't there long enough to really gain that respect that Lute had, that Tom had, hell, even Fran McCaffrey had. It was like you just kind of you kind of forget that George Raveling was the head coach at Iowa for a little bit. Man, he could recruit.
A hell of a recruiter, right? And that was always the thing that, man, that's like the first coach that I remember. I don't remember Lute Olson at Iowa. I remember Lute Olson at Arizona. And so George Raveling, when I'm coming to consciousness, George Raveling and his, what do you call it, jumpsuit, sweatsuit, the jumpsuit.
He was Bob Huggins before Bob Huggins made that stuff fashionable.
Yeah, well, and George made it look good.
He did.
And those Hawkeye teams, when you think about B.J. Armstrong and Brad, they looked good. And George Raveling was always as a little kid in Des Moines, I was always told that. Man, Lute Olson, his great teams were because George was recruiting great players. Tom Davis, some of his best teams, George Raveling was recruiting.
Well, it would be
character, too. I mean, what a fascinating guy. You know that George Raveling had the I Have a Dream speech?
You told me that one time. Like wasn't he running security or he was
Crazy story. Crazy. He's playing basketball at Georgetown. And one of his buddies comes in and says, hey, they're doing this thing down at the mall. They need some security. They just need big, intimidating looking dudes to stand around. George, you're a big guy. You want to come down and do this thing. And the story goes that he was basically standing near the stage as Martin Luther King Jr. gave his I Have a Dream speech. And when he came off the stage, George Raveling said, that was amazing. Can I have that? And Dr. Martin Luther King hands him the paper written speech.
Didn't he donate it to like a college or a university or something like that? And, he was very involved with Nike. And if I'm not mistaken, I watched the movie, and I don't know how much of it was true with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon about, the Michael Jordan Air. I believe he was part of those Nike negotiations and stuff like that. He was big into Nike. But, yeah, I think, didn't Raveling donate that speech to a university?
According to Wikipedia, he kept the original. He had been offered more than $3 million for the speech in 2013, and he declined the offer. In 2021, he gave it to Villanova University. It's intended to be used as a long-term on-loan arrangement. It's currently on display at the National Museum of African American History and Culture in D.C. I don't think, Travis, to answer your question, I really don't think George Raveling is the forgot about coach. I don't.
Okay.
I think that, he was there for 3 years. He was an integral part of those, of that really good 80s into 90s. I mean, he's a key cog in that wheel, but I think he gets the right amount of love there. When you say, is he forgotten? I go, oh, absolutely not. As soon as you say George Raveling, I think of his time with the Hawkeyes, and I think of it fondly. It's not like you go, oh, geez.
No, I mean, Tom Davis probably doesn't go to the Elite Eight in 1986, was it? Without the players that George Raveling brought into Iowa. And think about that. Compare that, Ross, to today's world, right? Yeah. Meaning, when George Raveling left to go to USC, he had I think, he'd brought in Roy Marble, brought in all those guys, right? In today's world, they all would have followed him to USC. They all would have gone, coach is going west, we're going west. Back then, you didn't have that opportunity. You were just like, well, I signed with Iowa, I got to stay at Iowa, or I got to sit out a year if I do decide to transfer. That's
I would
crazy.
say it's kind of interesting to see this Iowa coaching basketball history. Because, Trav, I could not name a third of these guys. If I said if you asked me to name every Iowa basketball coach I could, Ben McCollum, Fran McCaffrey, Todd Licklider, you've got Steve Alford, Coach Davis, Tom Davis, you got George Raveling, Lute Olson. That's as far back as I can go.
That's as far as I can go. That's as far as I can go.
Boy, have they had a ton. Boy, have they had a ton. And the fact that we can both name George Raveling, who only coached 3 years, and you have all of these names above him of guys that coached longer. Dick Schultz, Maury Kent, Sharm Sherman, Ralph Miller, Sam Barry, Pops Harrison, Bucky O'Connor, Raleigh Williams. The other ones we named. All those guys coached longer for Iowa than George Raveling did, and we still know him.
Of all those names, I have heard Ralph Miller.
Ralph Miller was one that rings a bell. Raleigh Williams. Well, maybe not. I don't know. So I think George has done all right. Tonight, the George Raveling game. I think that's neat that they're doing that. I mean, only a couple of years with Iowa as their head coach, but he did have he was a key cog of that, of those good years and remembered fondly.
What year did he pass away? Is that up on your Wikipedia page?
I just had it there. Hold on. I went back to the coaches thing.
Let me guess.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm going to say 2021.
Man, time is weird, dude. Time is so weird.
Is it longer than that?
Travis, he died in September.
Oh.
I would have done the same thing. I remember talking about George Raveling when he died was when we talked about the I Have a Dream speech. In my head, it was the same thing. I was thinking it was a couple years ago. He died September 1st, 2025 at the age of 88.
That is weird that time plays that trick on your it seems like the show's only been going for a year.
And I did say something earlier that and I'm sorry, Justin, to steal your job from you here. I said that he was a student at
Georgetown.
He was not. He was at Villanova. So, and I don't know how I had that wrong in my head. I was thinking Georgetown because of D.C., but he was in Villanova in Philly. And somehow with that, ended up as a security guard for the. Yeah, it just says Raveling was on the podium with King at the moment, having volunteered to provide security. What an odd! That's such a Forrest Gump type of thing.
It really is, right? Just being in the right place, right time. What if he knew at that time he probably didn't know beforehand, but probably after the speech, he was like, I just witnessed something pretty special.
That could be. So we can transition here if you'd like, okay?
Okay.
He was the National Association Basketball Coach of the Year in 1992. He was the 3-time Pac-10 Coach of the Year and inducted into 2 Hall of Fames with that resume. Again, long coaching career. 1963 to 1994. He spends 30 years either as an assistant or a head coach in various capacities. And he's inducted into 2 Hall of Fames. The Basketball Hall of Fame and the College Basketball Hall of Fame, both.
I didn't know there was 2 separate Hall of Fames.
Neither
no clue.
But there is. There's a College Basketball Hall of Fame and a Basketball Hall of Fame. George Raveling is in both. Bill Belichick.
Dude.
With 6 freaking Super Bowls.
As a head coach, 2 as an assistant coach. 333 wins. Second all-time, only behind Don Shula.
Carves out the most impressive dynasty of maybe professional sports in our lifetime. Maybe. In that conversation. Certainly the best dynasty we've seen in the NFL in a generation.
You would think that's a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's no way you're going to keep Bill Belichick out of the Hall of Fame
he's one of those dudes they should have put in at the Super Bowl when they're presenting him the trophy the 6th time. They should have said, oh, yeah, by the way, here's a gold jacket for you. We're going to get rid of the 4-year stupid rule we have here. You're a Hall of Famer, dude. People forever will remember the name Bill Belichick and what you've done here. We might not like you. There might be accusations that you're a cheater. This is how Hall of Fames ruin their legitimacy. Look at baseball. Everybody, every time there's a Hall of Fame anything anymore, people go, baseball, Barry Bonds, Clemens, Pete Rose, A-Rod. Baseball's Hall of Fame sucks because it denies the obvious. When I read this yesterday, that Bill Belichick, if you didn't hear the news, did not get the 80% to get put into the Hall of Fame. And
he needed 40 of the 50 votes. Now, the committee here is made up of veteran NFL beat writers. You also have guys on there like Tony Dungy, Bill Polian, who's a former GM. And I'm like, who are the 12 or 15 that didn't vote for him? And are you doing it because of moralistic reasons of, well, we had the cheating scandal? That had nothing to do with the dynasty. I don't care what anybody says. And you brought up Hall of Fames, Ross. Baseball has been a huge discussion for a number of times. Nobody really knows about the Hockey Hall of Fame or Basketball Hall of Fame. You're like, oh, that guy got in the Hall of Fame. And by the way, basketball does it right, especially with college coaches. If you're still coaching, they put you in. Bill Self's a Hall of Famer.
If you should be a Hall of Famer, because he is.
Yes.
Because Bill Self's a college basketball Hall of Famer.
But for the most part, football has done a good job of avoiding this type of controversy.
I'd agree.
You know, and you can make the argument on the qualification stuff. I think the only place, and this is me, and I think most Iowans, they may forget that he's from Iowa, but Roger Craig should be in the Hall of Fame. He was the first thousand guy.
You know, Travis, this is what you say when you say football almost always gets it right. Very few times do we say, man, football really stepped on their dick here.
Yeah.
The NFL really screwed this up. This time they did. This is a great example of it. In all of the other sports, you can throw out these names where it's like, no way. In football, you have to have these general discussions. It's like Roger Craig's a great one. Not in the Hall of Fame, but man, he's got really good numbers and really should be there. And there's a conversation and there's this kind of gray area. There are no Barry Bonds on the NFL side of it. There is no, Barry Sanders isn't in your Hall of Fame. And now there is. And now you can go, wait, the greatest coach ever? Oh, he's not the greatest coach ever. He's third. Okay.
Can you do a quick Google search for me?
You bet.
Is Lyle Alzado in the Hall of Fame?
What a good man. Lyle Alzado. He brings back bad memories, though, doesn't he?
And the reason I bring that up is you say there's no Barry Bonds. Well, Barry Bonds was the best home run hitter of all time. But if you don't think there are people in the National Football League Hall of Fame, or I guess it's the Pro Football Hall of Fame, who use performance-enhancing drugs, you are smoking crack. You are off your rocker.
He is not in the Hall of Fame.
Okay. And I only thought of Lyle because of performance-enhancing drugs, which, there was a time when steroids were quite common. They're still quite common. They're just more enhanced now.
Alzado in 2008 was inducted into the Jewish Sports Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Died at 43.
Really? What year was that?
1992.
Wow.
Dude, that guy looks like Flag. Lyle Alzado looks just like Flag. Holy cow. They've got to be related. 6'3", 255. You want to know what Flag looks like? Go to Lyle Alzado's Wikipedia page. That's wild. Never knew Flag was Jewish.
Oh, man. Yeah,
so but you were wondering because if he were in the you were asking that because of the Von.
That was just a famous name
yeah.
that popped in my head, right? Because we were talking about baseball is all moralistic and wants to say, well, if you got caught using performance enhancing drugs, you can't be in. There's people in. There's all sorts of bad people in Hall of Fames who've done bad things, and some people on here already were, early in the chat were like, when you videotape a practice, that's cheating. And okay, I get it. Was it wrong? Was he reprimanded for it? Yes. He still won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach. He's won the second most games in the NFL history. He has the resume. And don't look at what he's doing at North Carolina now, but
Travis, he's got it. There's no when I heard this yesterday, I did not think cheating scandals. I didn't think, they're punishing him for Deflategate and they're punishing him for the videotaping scandal. Which, by the way, I do believe both of those things. I do believe that Bill Belichick bended the rules, skirted around what the norms and regulations were supposed to be. It's pretty obvious the guy did that. Every team's trying. Every team's trying.
It's like Michigan
was good at it. And
he
got caught a couple times, which your team hasn't. He got caught a couple of times. I don't think he won 6 Super Bowls because of those two things. And I think you can look at it and go, yeah, the guy was a cheat. The guy bent the rules and did everything he could. You know what else he was? Freaking famous and good. The best to ever do it. And you got to take two paths. You get to choose here. Do you take the baseball path and you go, we hold the moral high ground. We clutch our pearls when we find out that something bad has happened around us in our illustrious perfect game. Or you do what football had always done, which is go, man, these guys are human beings. They make big mistakes, but you know what they were? They were winners. And this is about the Hall of Fame. It's about winning and being famous. And Bill Belichick, we should have put this guy, he should have had that gold jacket years ago. I'm not kidding. The 6th Super Bowl, probably the 3rd Super Bowl, they should have handed him the jacket with the trophy.
And let's not forget, Ross, how many Super Bowls did he lose? So he won 6. Was it 2 or 3? Now, the Patriots have been to a record 12 Super Bowls. Now, Bill Parcells got there in one.
Oh, boy. I mean, dude, it's unreal. It's unreal that this guy, that when you look at his accolades, it's pages. Pages of stuff here that the guy has accomplished. 6-time Super Bowl champion, 2 times as an assistant coach. Trav, I don't see exactly how many Super Bowls. Most Super Bowl appearances, 12. He's been in 12 Super Bowls. But, hey, not a good guy, and that's really, just like all these sports writers, if he would have lived a perfectly clean life and been just like all these sports writers did.
Had the integrity.
If he'd had the integrity that these sports writers do.
And the stupid thing about it is he will be a Hall of Famer. He'll wear the jacket. But they wanted to punish him and say, you're not a first ballot guy.
That's what it was. And that's
because of this. Yeah. You're not a first ballot guy. We're going to make you wait 1 more year. Well, you're going to put him in eventually anyway. So what are you really waiting for? I would. They're going to announce it Super Bowl week. It'd be great if Roger Goodell would call the Pro Football Hall of Fame and say, here's the deal. We can't have this public relations nightmare. The dude's one of, if not the greatest NFL coach of all time. Sure, he doesn't have the most wins Don Shula does, but he's got 6 Super Bowls. You
Don
guys
Shula,
got it wrong.
Don Shula, by the way, one of the 3 first ballot Hall of Fame coaches of all time, 2 Super Bowls.
How many first ballot coaches are there?
3.
Let me get, so you got okay. Don Shula.
Yep.
Chuck Noll.
Good call.
And hold on.
Shoot, I've lost it. I got it. Okay.
So we have Don Shula, Chuck Noll, Tom Landry.
Good job. I almost said, here's your hint, the most famous NFL coach of all time, but I think that might be Vince Lombardi. If
Yeah,
I'd have said the most famous NFL coach of all time, is that Vince Lombardi or is that Tom Landry?
Oh, I think Lombardi is because the Super Bowl trophy is called the Lombardi Trophy. And you have the speeches, you have if you go to Successories, you have all the Lombardi stuff.
I need to clear something up here. And again, Justin, sorry I keep stealing your job. There actually have been 5 first ballot Hall of Fame coaches, but the first 2 were inducted in the initial Hall of Fame class in 1963. George Halas and Curly Lambeau.
Lambeau Field and George Halas
and George Halas from the Bears. Right. So those 2 qualify as first ballot Hall of Fame coaches, but it's kind of a different category because they were that first class eligible.
Does that kind of surprise you that Shula, Noll, and Landry are the only first ballot coaches to get in? I mean, there's been some pretty darn good coaches.
Yeah, kind of. It does. Because, again, I think that Bill Belichick was a layup.
Yeah, if there was ever a Hall of Famer.
He has more Super Bowls than those. He has as many Super Bowls as those other 3 combined.
Because Don Shula had 1. Chuck Noll had 4.
So they would have 1 more because Tom Landry had, did Tom Landry win 2? He went to 2 Super Bowls.
I thought he won. No, because I think they lost to the Steelers once. And I think he won another. So I think he won 1 Super Bowl.
He was a 2-time Super Bowl champion.
Okay.
6 and 12. I know my Roman numerals.
Look at you.
Little flex there.
Look at you.
Little DMPS flex on my Roman numerals.
See, East did not fail you. East did not
Well,
fail
the
you.
Super Bowls didn't. Let's just say that.
Glad you know your Roman numerals.
I know the Roman numerals from the Super Bowls, not from Hyatt Middle School. I can promise you that.
And what is the Roman numerals this year?
Well, it's Super Bowl, what,
60?
So it would be... Okay, 1. X is 10, so it would be LX.
Very good. You know
L is
your
50?
Roman numerals. Yes.
Yep.
Hail Caesar.
And then
Hail Caesar.
we're missing 1, though. So you've got I, V, X, L, M.
What's the M?
Isn't M 100?
Oh, it might be.
Dude, now we're guessing. Look at us.
Now we're going down the Roman numeral path here.
Yeah, we got it right. L. C is 100. D is 500. M is 1,000. Thanks, Rob and Irish were both on it. Look at us. We're kill it with the Roman numerals, us fellas.
515-517-2303. We got an hour in the books. We got an hour to go. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
The Rush Radio is now on the free TuneIn app, allowing you to enjoy the show on Apple products and Android Auto. Download the free TuneIn app and search The Rush Radio to take Travis and Ross wherever you go.
This is Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
More Iowa in the Iowa Tap Room than you may realize. Housed in a building nearly as old as Iowa itself, the Iowa Tap Room greets you with a harvest of 120 Iowa craft beers on tap from all corners of the state. And the food doesn't get much more Iowa than this. The Iowa Tap Room, all Iowa beer, one amazing place.
There's always something new at Fong's Pizza and an ever-changing menu of tiki drinks. Or try our new noodle dishes alongside your favorite slice. It's all happening at the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Start spreading the news, 'cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end, unless you're just loitering. It's Central City. We can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City. All this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
A fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Cheaper, cleaner, and homegrown. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Hey everybody, Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Mini of Des Moines. Got some exciting things going on this month. Lease an all-new Mini Countryman for as low as $369 a month. On top of that, we have rates as low as $2.99 out to 48 months. On top of that, we have more exciting news. Currently on our lot, we have 2 all-new John Cooper Works Countrymans. For more information, visit us online at miniofdesmoines.com or stop by and visit your favorite Mini motoring advisor.
Game on, keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
Like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show. Good to have you along for a new car, a used car, a certified pre-owned car. Make sure to go to Willis Automotive. You can start your buying a journey at willisauto.com. And long after you drive your new or used or certified pre-owned car off the lot, you can get it serviced at Willis Automotive because their service department is top-notch. How do I know? I purchased a car at Willis Automotive. I know exactly what you're going to get when it comes to sales and service, and just there's no push, no games, just friendly conversations. You go, hey, let's do a handshake and let's buy a car. That's the best way to buy a car.
Trav, and I love the process. Like even the people, I tell them all the time when I'm there how easy they make it, how trouble-free it is. If your car has to be in for a lengthy repair, they've got loaners that you can take with you. It's a super easy process to go through that. And they just make everything very easy. They stay in great communication with you. Got a wonderful system and great people there. Love Willis.
We've seen the ACC, the Big 12, release their college football schedules. The Big 10 did their big release yesterday. We knew who Iowa would had on the schedule for next year. We just didn't know in the order of which those games would be played. Before we dive into Iowa's schedule, because we got to start planning for the fall, the year 2 of the Black and Gold Rush that's coming up, and boy, based on the schedule, it's going to be a fun year to do the Black and Gold Rush. I do want to point this out, Ross, and get your thoughts. Indiana, Nebraska, Penn State, USC, and Washington are the only Big Ten teams not to have another Power 4 non-conference game. So they don't play anybody in the Power 4. The SEC, the ACC, the Big 12 mandates that their teams play 10 Power 4 games, meaning you got to step outside your conference and play somebody from the big boys. Nebraska, Indiana, Penn State, USC, and Washington aren't doing that. Now, I'm going to give Washington a pass, meaning Washington has Washington State on its schedule. So
I'm with you. That qualifies, and I don't think they should be in this category because of what the circumstances that Washington State finds themselves in.
Yeah.
That's a Power 5, and I like that. I like that they do that. I like Iowa playing Iowa State, as we've talked about.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with that.
Do you like that conferences? Do you think the Big Ten should follow suit and say, hey, we don't mind that you're going to play an FCS team and maybe a MAC team, but you've got to have somebody from another power conference in there. I think as we go down further into the playoffs, and if we stay at 12 or if we end up at 16 or 24 or whatever it does, there's got to be a deciding factor. And let's say we stay at 12 this year because they can't come to an agreement. And Penn State's schedule in Matt Campbell's first year is manageable. He could be pretty good, but let's say you have one loss out of there or two, and you're like, does a 2-loss Penn State team get in over a 2-loss, I don't know, Clemson team? I'm just throwing that out there. But Clemson had played that extra non-conference game that was a Power 4 team. To me, that's a deciding factor.
It's going to be a determining factor in those tiebreaker situations. Your strength of schedule is going to be a determining factor. Man, I don't know how I feel about this, Trav, because I don't. Let me think about this out loud for a second. Kind of tell you where I'm at, because I don't know which side of the fence. If you made me make the decision on this, I think I would still let the universities make their own schedule, because my opinion on it is you put these schedules together at your own peril. If you don't have a Power 5 team on there, you are the one that's going to pay the price. Are you going to get an extra W out of the deal? You are. Is that W actually going to help you when it comes time for the committee? If you're undefeated, you're in the tournament. You're in the playoff, right? If you have one loss and you haven't played anybody, you haven't played a single ranked team all year, and in that situation, you'd almost have to be one of those power or a group of 5, whatever.
Yeah,
your schedule is going to matter. Your strength of schedule is going to matter. You're going to have to beat good teams. So I don't want there necessarily to be like a rule that says you have to play a Power 5 team, because then I'm afraid you're then working out the Northern Iowas of the world and all that. And this is why I'm on both sides of the fence, because as a fan, what do I want to see? I want to see Iowa play an SEC team in October. That'd be fun. I think that would be that. I want Iowa to play the absolute best competition every year. That'd be fun. Well, does it mean the Hawkeyes are going to win 8 games instead of 10? Probably. But, man, I want to see him play the best competition. I want to see him play Iowa State every year. And so, it's just such a weird thing where we're going to put a team together, okay? We're going to compete in this sport, and we're going to be really good. But let's make sure that we get at least 2 or 3 cupcakes in there.
We gotta hedge your bet a little bit. We gotta hedge your, and I get it.
Let's just schedule a couple teams that we know. We don't really want competition. Let's sneak a couple of games in there so that we just get to pack up them W's. Why do we even do that? Like if we're gonna do this thing of like, well, we're gonna be the Big Ten and we're gonna do things the right way, and we're gonna make sure that there's one extra game on there so you can still go play, directional Michigan. You guys can go beat up on the Ball States of the world, but one time a year if you're gonna do it, do it. If you're going to commit. Make all your games Power 5 games. Why not that?
Well, I think we're getting to with the Power 4 conferences now, we're getting to the place where you can almost throw out non-conference games. There's so many teams in these conferences. Why do you need non-conference games? I would rather I don't like not seeing Purdue in Indiana on the schedule, but I got to watch Northern Illinois. You have enough teams to say, hey, we're getting rid of non-con games, and this will afford you to lose. You could lose 2 or 3 games and maybe still be a playoff contender if you're playing 100% conference games.
Yeah.
And these leagues are so big now, it's like, why do you need to step outside the conference?
I do not want you and I to be pushed out. That's why what I want is for these schools to be able to make their own schedules and have a couple of non-conference games. And do this. Is it nice that you're the first game of the year on September 5th? It's going to be 70 degrees, and you're going to get to go over and watch the Hawks kick the shit out of Northern Illinois. Is that going to be fun? Hell yeah.
It could build false hope.
What about last year when Iowa State played K-State to start the season? Was that fun? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, it was fun. So I don't know. That's why I say I'm on both sides of this fence, and I think first and foremost, I would say I don't want to see because I see this as being detrimental to the UNIs of the world.
You are sympathetic and empathetic almost to a fault. And listen, I love Todd Stepsis. I love FCS football. I love it. But the truth is, you're in a different division. You have a separate set of people who you play and you compare yourself against. What has happened is these teams like Northern Iowa, and they're not alone, I'm using them as an example, have used those games to basically rely on that money to fund your athletic program or fund your football program, right? And that's it should have never got to that point where, well, we're only going to play this game because of money. Because if it wasn't for money, Ross, Northern Iowa probably wouldn't play the game. You take money out of the equation to be like, you know what? So? Yeah, I would rather go get a win. Or try to get a win.
But isn't that the I feel like that's the conversation we were just having. Is like every athletic department has to sit down and weigh that balance. Do we want? This is so weird. Do we want a win, or do we want a competition?
Can it be? Personally, me, I want to see big names play big names. And I want it to be a competition. If you lose, fine. But if let's say Iowa, instead of you took Northern Illinois and UNI off the schedule, and you replace that with Ole Miss and Florida State,
home and homes. You do home and homes with both those. So what you've done there is you've essentially, over the course of 2 years, you've lost 2 home games.
And that's we're talking about money again. These teams need a set amount of home games. This is all dictated by money. These games are all dictated by money.
Earlier in the comment section, somebody said the answer is money. What was the question again?
Yeah,
perfect.
I mean,
that's a really good response. Whoever that was, I don't know if it was S. Williams or what, but
I mean, we make fun of these athletic departments that we assume are swimming in cash, and they're getting a lot of money. But the spreadsheets work out to where, hey, we need to have this many home games to make everything work.
Speaking of athletic departments and their budgets, you did see this story yesterday. Well, you were flying. Maybe you didn't. This actually broke. This actually broke a couple of days ago. And then from NewJersey.com, it was from 2 days ago that they kind of broke the story about the Rutgers athletic department. Have you heard anything about this, Trav?
Well, if my memory serves me correct, they're one of the few athletic departments that's not swimming in money. Matter of fact, I believe Rutgers is upside down, or
big time upside down.
Yes.
Big time upside down. A Big Ten program is losing $78 million a year. $78 million a year. Travis, they've lost nearly $500 million since joining the Big Ten. Rutgers has lost $516.9 million is the Rutgers total deficit since joining the Big Ten in 2014-2015.
How is that possible?
I don't know. And how is that program? How is a program that loses $70 million a year? We just had a conversation a couple weeks ago about how they were part of a portfolio that was worth $2 billion. A California private equity firm, the California State Universities, basically, were going to buy the Big Ten rights for $2 billion. Well, one of those, and I get this, it's the same thing when you talk about taxes and funding for schools and things like that. It's very complicated. You're talking about 2 different piles of money. You're talking about 2 different silos of cash here. When you talk about an athletic department that's losing $500 million and how they're a part of a group that's worth $2 billion. Yeah, that doesn't make sense to my feeble little brain. I don't understand how people walk around and go, we want to buy that thing for $2 billion. Well, you know that one of them loses $78 million a year, right? How does this make sense? This is, again, it feels like one of those duh moments to me for a little bit, because when the Big Ten looked to expand and they were talking about going to Rutgers, it was like, Rutgers? Well, you don't know the television dollars that are attached to it. You're not understanding all these television. Nobody watches.
Yeah, well, hold on. The Big Ten doesn't care about Rutgers. It cares about the market that it's in.
Yes.
Those are the dollars. They just care about being in New Jersey and New York. Rutgers is the byproduct that helped them get that. But you also have to run an athletic department efficiently, meaning let's look at Jamie Pollard. Now, ruffled some feathers, of course, dropped some sports, baseball being one of them. Rutgers has 24 varsity sports. That's what I was looking up when you saw me looking down at my phone. Iowa State has 16, which I believe is the minimum.
Wow.
Sometimes you have to go, you know what? You're out. You're out. You make zero money. You cost us scholarships, opportunities. We have to fund the recruiting. You have to look at your sports and go, do we need 24 sports or can we go with 16 and do the bare minimum? Because at the end of the day, the only sport that matters, and I don't mean this to offend anybody, and if you're offended, that's a you problem, not a me problem. Football is the only thing that matters. Football feeds the beast. Football is the kingpin. Football is the cartel. That's where the money is. No matter how good of a basketball program you have, no matter how good of a women's basketball program you have, no matter how good of a volleyball program you have, baseball, softball, field hockey, swimming, golf, you name it. Doesn't matter. Yes, you deserve opportunity. Go play a club sport. You can still do that. But football is the only thing that matters. And if you're running an athletic department, you have to run it and be financially, responsible. And sometimes you have to look at the sports and go, you're not making us money.
So, and some people in the chat are ahead of us. Maybe there's another one. The article, I didn't read the NewJersey.com article. It was a couple of days old. The Bleacher Report article that I'm reading, it kind of references back to some of that NJ.com stuff. Here's some numbers from USA Today. They reported in May of 2024 that Rutgers had received $58.9 million from the Big Ten that year. I think that number would have gone up this year. They're probably north of $60 million that they received. But they spent $193 million. The athletic, now we're talking, that's not just football. That's the
whole athletic department
as a whole, right?
But that's what I'm talking about is like, okay, you got to cut. Because if I'm a taxpayer in New Jersey, it's not like you have a great financial situation in the state of New Jersey anyway. The last thing you want to be doing, because Rutgers is the state university of New Jersey, is funding that athletic department to the tune of millions of dollars.
Do you see what Euchre just put in the chat here? Rutgers has 101 people on their staff. Here's some other stats from the article here. Because, again, I think that you're right, Travis. It's not necessary. It is a mismanagement issue from some of the stuff that you read in this article. Last year, the Scarlet Knights plunged $76 million into football alone. Remember, they received 60. They received 60 from the conference. They put $76 million into football alone, and the return was a 7-6 record and a loss to Kansas State in the Rate Bowl. Their ticket revenue declined from 2013 to 2024, and the 25-26 picture does not look any better. They finished 5-7, missed the postseason bowl entirely. Greg Schiano's salary is $6.5 million, 38th nationally. So yeah, it's mismanagement. $500 million Rutgers has lost since joining the Big Ten. What? Huh?
And then did you see the valuations of programs the other day? I think Forbes had valuations. Like Texas's athletic department is valued at like $2.4 billion. Like in the top 10, there's not a athletic department that's valued below $1 billion. And a lot of those were in the Big Ten. Nebraska was number 10 at like $1.3 billion in valuation. But that's when you go to the private equity. Well, hold on. I know you got a loser over here, but like you got a number of schools in your Big Ten that are valued at $1 billion or over, and you just want to pay $2 billion worth of rights? To me, that's you're getting a good deal.
I don't understand how Greg Schiano gets $6 million because again, you're the CEO of a corporation that's losing money.
Because he asked for it, and the athletic director said, okay.
Oh, yeah. You know why you're worth it? Because you're a football coach. And football coaches make millions of dollars. That's what the internet tells me.
You know when you should make the $6.5 million? Is
when you win?
When you win. When you do what Curt Cignetti did. Why did Curt Cignetti get a huge raise? Because he just won a national championship. And therefore, you see the influx of money. We can talk about Mark Cuban, but look at the people that are going to the games now, selling tickets, the revenues piling in. They're swimming in cash now. And it can turn around very fast. And I'm sure Rutgers is thinking, well, we have to spend at a deficit in order to get to where we want to be. But it doesn't work all the time. Ooh, man. So, we started this talking about Iowa's schedule. They're going to open up September 5th against Northern Illinois. And then September 12th against Iowa State. And then September 19th against Northern Iowa. Now we get into the Big Ten season. This is when we found the dates. We knew who was on the schedule. We just didn't know the dates. Ross, they open up the Big Ten season September 26th at Michigan. That's a hard way to start the conference play, man. Really hard. And I don't think there's going to be a fall off based on its new coach, who they're able to bring in. I don't think, as a matter of fact, Michigan might be better next year than they were this year.
It should be a good game. It's not. I'll tell you what, I was less confident in Penn State this last year. When a year ago when we saw Penn State at Iowa, I thought, well, that's a loss.
And that was based off because they got
Trav, I just lost you, dude. Did you mute your mic or something?
No.
Oh, I've lost you, brother.
Really? That's weird. 1 2
right.
1 2.
Disconnect and reconnect if you want. Maybe that'll change something, or maybe they've lost me. I'm not. I don't know. Oh, they can hear you, dude. They can hear you. I can't hear you. Hold on.
Is the butt going?
What in the hell is going on here?
Everybody can hear me, and I can hear you. Do. Live radio, folks. It happens, and we fix it on the fly.
I can't hear you still. I just changed my source there. Damn it, Trav. I'm sorry, dude. Everybody can hear both of us, but I can't hear you. You can hear me?
Yeah, absolutely can hear you. Ross is technologically challenged. Now I can talk about him, folks, and he can't hear me. Isn't it a beautiful thing? He can just look staring at me. He doesn't know that I'm talking about him. He's trying to solve problems. Just between us girls here, he's not technologically savvy. And, it happens. But don't worry about it. 515-517-2303. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a break. Let Ross try and figure the thing out, and we will be back after this on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Game on. Keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
This is Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
Oh, did see you there. Happy New Year for myself and everyone else over here at Land Rover Des Moines. My personal New Year's resolution is to take better care of my car, and that starts with an oil change. Come on down for $25 off your service. You can give us a call or schedule online at LandRoverDesMoines.com.
Fuel choice that even rivals can agree on? Now that's worth the hype. Pump it up with unleaded 88.
Hi, Hi, it's Noel. At Fiscus Jewelers, we're honored by the fact that our customers continue to come back on purpose, and that trust means everything to us. For years, we've been privileged to be a part of life's most meaningful moments, and we never take that responsibility lightly. We proudly offer the largest inventory in Ankeny, cutting-edge custom designs, including free CAD drawings, and a team that takes the time to get it right. Thank you for choosing us year after year. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
The largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
Hi, I'm Tom, owner at Central City Liquors. Our customers love us because we offer a large selection at an affordable price. And to keep costs low for you, we don't splurge on fancy promotions and expensive equipment. This commercial is being shot on a phone taped to a stick. Anyway, we are proud to announce our new rewards program that allows customers to save more the more they buy. So don't spend more to pay for fancy commercials. Save at Central City, where we know what's important. I told you we should have used duct tape.
Happy New Year from myself and everyone else over here at Willis Volvo. My New Year's resolution this year is to take better care of my car, and that starts with an oil change. You can come on down for $25 off your service. Visit us online at willisvolvocars.com or give us a call to get scheduled.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Welcome back to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Good to have you along. I think Ross has solved his technological problems. We were talking about you, man.
Don't know what I did.
It's the dangers of going on the road, right? We get out of our normal routine. You take over part of the show that normally that runs from the master studio, and it all worked out. A little bump in the road. I'm not that worried about it.
Good deal. Well, thanks for Justin for answering the emergency bat signal call there to hop on with us because, anyway, we're back. I'm back.
Now, we were talking, and Justin's waiting. We'll bring you on in a little bit, Justin, just to let you know. But I want to get into this because they open with Michigan. But those first three games, man, you go Michigan, Ohio State, at Washington. That's a tough stretch to start the Big Ten Conference.
And the nice thing is you get a bye week after that. So, Michigan, Ohio State, Washington, at Michigan, at Washington. Then you have a bye week before things do get a little bit easier at Minnesota, Wisconsin, at Northwestern, Purdue, at Illinois, and Nebraska. Back half of the schedule is certainly manageable. It's jumping into that deep end. And listen, Iowa State's going to be Iowa State. Iowa State is going to have that Iowa game circled early on. They're going to get ready. A group of dudes is going to show up to try to kick the shit out of the Hawks that day, right?
Yeah.
So Hawks, let's just hope and think that they're 3-0 coming out of that non-con. Play at Michigan. Again, I think that's right now, I'm not going to say that's a loss.
I'm not going to say it's a loss. I would say they're not going to be favored. We don't know what the quarterback play is going to be like. And listen, you lose Logan Jones, you lose some of those guys on the offensive line. There's a lot of questions I have about Iowa going into the season. I've learned not to doubt Kirk Ferentz, but I look at the schedule all along, just top to bottom. Is it the toughest schedule in college football? No. But, man, it's pretty darn tough.
It's really tough.
Yeah.
It was 3 to start. And there is something, Travis, like when we were talking about Nebraska basketball and we're talking about Indiana football, there's something about the brand that it carries weight. And there is something about seeing at Michigan that you go, oh, crap, that's a really tough game. I don't care what condition Michigan. I don't care if Rich Rodriguez is the coach. Playing at Michigan, that's a tough game. And I think you're right. They're going to be playing with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. We have no idea what this Hawkeye team is going to look like. It's way too early to be actually prognosticating. But I think when you look at the brands, look at how the Hawkeyes have been, and you look at the back half of that schedule, could be a fun year for the Hawks.
You know, the one game on the back half that scares me is going to be at Illinois. I mean, Brett Bielema has got the Illini running. We're talking back-to-back seasons that were really good. They actually underperformed. I think they ended up with, 9 wins this year after the bowl game, but that was an underperformance. I think a lot of people thought Illinois was going to be better, but that team's rock solid. Nebraska's got a really, really tough schedule. They go Ohio State, then Iowa. I was looking at Nebraska's schedule on the plane yesterday, and realistically, I could see only a pathway to 5 wins. And
no kidding.
Yes.
Wow.
A pathway to 5 wins for Nebraska, which would mean Matt Rule would definitely be on the hot seat. I mean, just look at the schedule where it goes.
Up right now for us.
And I see a pathway to 5. They would have to pull. I think any other game would be an upset. I think they win at Rutgers. I think they beat Maryland. They win their 3 non-conference games. After that, I know your eyes just got big. That's not an easy schedule, is it?
Dude, even their non-con, they got North Dakota.
Yeah.
North Dakota come in and shock you.
And you go, North Dakota, you're talking one of the better FCS teams out there.
I think most people should know that's not that's going to be a tough football game. Okay, they have Indiana, they have Oregon, they have Washington, they have Illinois, they have Ohio State, and they have Iowa. Yeah. So let's say you win those non-cons, you beat Michigan State and Maryland, which
I don't know if they beat Michigan State.
I think it's at Michigan State.
Yeah, and that's Pat Fitzgerald. I think you beat Maryland. I think you beat Rutgers, but after that, Michigan State's like a toss-up. Everything else. Because we're forgetting about Washington, right? We put Iowa going to Washington. Jed Fish got a pretty good team out there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of that tough opening for Iowa.
I mean, come that bye week, Iowa's going to be ready for a break. I mean, you go, man, that first half is just nasty. Absolutely nasty.
Boy, if you are one of those people that loves swimming in the Nebraska pain pool, it's going to be a fun fall for you next year.
It will be.
It's going to be really tough. Or Matt Rule proves his mettle and locks himself in as a great coach by getting, because I think you're right, Trav. I hadn't looked at that. 5-6 wins is going to be an accomplishment. That's probably what the Vegas line for Nebraska next year, I'm guessing, is going to be in that 6 range.
I'd say I put it 6.5. To me, if Matt Rule got the 7 wins next year, that would be better than the 7 or 8 wins they got this year. I mean, it's just
agreed.
You would go,
Agreed.
okay, that's you pulled off a couple of upsets. But, it's always fun. We knew who everybody was going to play. We just didn't. And what makes a schedule tougher is who you play back-to-back, right? I mean, Indiana has to play Ohio State and Michigan back-to-back. Are you kidding me, Big Ten? You just had a team win a national championship for you, and the greatest story, you go, well, let's have them play Michigan and Ohio State back-to-back. That's not – Kurt Cignetti has to be going, really? Really? You're still trying to prove if Indiana is worth it?
I think Kurt Cignetti looks at it and goes, bring it. I'll show you. Google me. That's what Kurt Cignetti's saying.
I win. Google me.
Yeah.
We can handle this.
Frankie says, don't worry about Matt Rule. He's always got flag football to fall back on. Good point,
true.
Frankie.
That's true. Man. Did you see where Duke settled its suit with Darren Menza, the quarterback? Yes. They settled out of court. They came to an agreement on both sides. Because Duke is a private school, it doesn't have to release the terms of the deal, but they got something out of it because they weren't going to let this thing go. And I'm happy for this.
Yeah.
I want to thank the University of Washington. I want to thank Duke University for holding their grounds against guys who signed NIL contracts, tried to back out of it and say, no, you have to be a grown man. You made a commitment. You're gonna honor that commitment. And if you don't, you're going to pay a penalty. Washington got their quarterback to come back. Duke said, hey, you don't get to walk away for free. We need to be compensated on the backside. So because he tried to take his NIL rights, which he had signed away to Duke, all that stuff, and they said, you're going to have to pay us. You're going to have to buy. And I'm okay with buyouts, but you just don't get to sign an agreement and say, well, it's just a piece of paper. No, you want to make big boy money. You got to. This is a big boy decision.
I mean, Travis, as much as we pick on these universities and the institutions of higher learning thing and how ridiculous they get, an institution of higher learning has lost $500 million trying to play sports in the last 10 years. That's ridiculous, right? But they are smart in this way. When it comes to these lawsuits, the one that the universities have to avoid is the antitrust lawsuits. And I felt like both of these situations were contractual lawsuits. They were contract law. It wasn't antitrust law. It was contract law. You sign this contract. You got to abide by this. We're teetering on the edge of one of these antitrust lawsuits, though. Both of these guys were in situations where they had signed contracts. Now they've got to honor their side of that deal. What they're fishing for is for one of these contracts to land into that antitrust lawsuit thing, and so I think you're right. I'm glad that Duke and Washington both stood their ground on this and said, "Man, we got to have a line in the sand."
Well, because every other university is going, "Thank you," because nobody wanted to be the first because it looks like, oh, you're anti-athlete. Well, if you go there, they're gonna hold you to your word. Well, they're gonna hold you to your word on a contract you signed.
Yeah.
And before it was just a scholarship. When you start talking real money, real investment that's coming out of a pool of money, you've changed the game. We have a professional model now. And so what it does is, I think with the Washington kid going back, that clearly stated every lawyer told him, dude, we've looked over your contract. You're not going to win. In fact, your language was so bad that you could get hosed because his was the buyout would be determined by Washington. Duke said, hey, we're not going to. This has to go through arbitration like it says it has to. You have to abide by this.
Yeah.
And so as long as it keeps doing that, it sends the message to other players, when you sign that deal, you don't get to walk away from it. Now, Menza right away committed to Miami. Big shock. No tampering there. I mean, he was committed. Then all of a sudden after Miami loses in the national championship game, I'm going to the transfer. But there's no tampering going on. No money being flown around. Nothing like that. Speaking of treating players like professionals, you and I talked about this briefly yesterday. Deion Sanders.
Yeah, I was going to bring this up in that conversation. I'm glad you got to this.
Yeah, so, if you violate team rules, and there's a scale here, but let's use an example. If you're late for said meeting, it's a $500 fine. If you miss the meeting altogether, it's a $2,500 fine. He has banned profanity outside of the meeting rooms. And he said specifically in the cafeteria. So the cafeteria would be the training room or the training table, meaning, listen, there are other teams in there. It's just not a football facility. You have to be respectful of everybody else who's in that room. So you've banned profanity, and there could be a fine for that. Professional athletes, if you're with the Giants or the Bears or the Cowboys and you are late for a team meeting, you're going to get fined. You miss a team meeting, you're going to get fined. Are you on board with these fines that Prime is putting in place?
No, I'm not.
What's the difference between a professional player getting paid and a college player getting paid?
Minimum salary. Everybody in that NFL locker room, everybody has a 6-figure salary. Deion's got kids that are walk-ons. Deion's got kids that are paying to be there. I don't mind rules. I think it's a great rule to say, don't miss practice, don't miss workouts, show up on time, don't cuss, represent yourself and this team and this university all the time. Okay? And if you don't, here's some punishments that come with it. I wouldn't mind a percentage thing. If you're making $2 million to be here and you miss a practice, it's going to cost you this amount of money. But you're the third stringer in your room who's paying us to be here. He doesn't have to. That's not the same rule. If he shows up late, he gets cut. If he shows here's the rules for him. Not all the animals on the farm get treated the same, and I think that's an important thing here. I was rooting for Deion Sanders. I liked his thumb in the eye of the system thing. He's gone. I'm kind of ready for this to be over now. I'm kind of ready. The Deion thing is just, I don't like this. I don't like this at all, of telling these kids. Deion Sanders is a multi-millionaire. He doesn't understand. I know he grew up in a different situation. He does not understand what it's like for these kids that are paying. He was a full ride scholarship athlete. He was a first round draft pick. He played 2 professional sports. Does he know his way around locker rooms that he's forgotten more about a professional locker room than any of us will ever know? That I agree with. This to me is, you're taking this thing of, all right, if we're going to do a professional model, now let's apply all of the things to it. Well, if I'm those guys, I'm looking around going, wait a minute, we don't get the professional model benefits.
But isn't he trying to teach accountability?
Yeah, and Travis, you can do that without the monetary fines here. You can do that. You are going to really, like when we were talking about the Miami Duke situation, where I was going to relate this back to the Colorado thing is, as a parent of a athlete, I would much rather my kid go play for Miami and Duke right now than Colorado. I think that what they're doing with their lessons on accountability is a lot better than Deion. What it seems to me from Deion, honestly, feels like a cash grab. It feels like Deion sat down and went, wait a minute, these kids are making money. Well, how do I wet my beak on that money? And I don't need all of it. I just want to wet my beak a little. I know how. I remember when I was in the NFL, I'd get fined if I showed up late. And I didn't care because I could pay a fine because I was a multimillionaire. Yeah, if I get a couple kids, that's my instinct on this. And I like Deion. My instinct on this was, this is bad.
It depends on what you do with said money. I believe the NFL puts theirs in like a charity pool and gives it to charity and stuff like that. But I'm torn. I understand. I like the sliding scale, meaning if you're a $5 million guy, and because you're right, Ross, a $5 million guy, there are certain expectations. You're getting the bulk of the money. We expect you to be on time. We expect you to be a leader. We expect you to be and if you do have a guy that's he's a $10,000 guy, well, a $2,500 fine is most of what
huge.
So I'm in favor of a sliding scale, but I do think there's an accountability part of this, and the truth is, this may happen at other universities. The only difference is they're not broadcasting it. They're not going out and say, "Hey, look at it! Look what we're doing to mold young men."
That's a good
point. Usually because I promise, if you go to Iowa State, anywhere. If you miss a meeting, if you're late for a meeting, you're going to pay a price somehow. It could be playing time. It could be monetary. It could be whatever. They just don't boast about it because it stays within the locker room. This would be something we can ask Tyler Kluver on Friday. It is like, hey, Deion's boasting about this, but if you were late for a meeting or if you missed a meeting, just all out.
What was the penalty?
And didn't have an excuse. Because I would hope that, hey, coach, unfortunately, they redid a lab here. I've got to be at this class. And you get an excused absence, right?
That's cute. You think school would be one of the reasons they could get out?
I'm using that as an example.
Honestly, hey, coach, I was coming to practice today and I blew a tire.
Yeah.
There was a protest and they blocked the road. There's got to be some allowances there somehow. Tony may have a bus. I love this. If you got to find college athletes if you have to find college athletes to get compliance, you have not built the culture and the program relationships that are necessary. I completely agree with that. My gut would say that what Tyler Kluver is going to say to us is, oh yeah, there were hard, fast rules put in place. I didn't have to cut a check to Coach Ferentz. What I had to do was push-ups, blah, blah, blah. I'm guessing he'll tell us it wasn't like, hey guys, meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. Hope you can be here.
Well, and you have to set a culture by being around. Every time I see Deion do an interview something, he's at his house in Texas. How much time are you actually spending in Boulder to be around your program? And because I promise you, Kirk Ferentz, Jimmy Campbell, or Jimmy Williams, they're in the Jimmy Campbell. I did two names.
Jimmy Rogers.
Jimmy Rogers. They're in the same playing with my Jimmy Rogers. They're in the room every single day. They're in their office. Unless they're out recruiting, right?
That's something I told you the other day. I watch a lot of fishing stuff. When I'm scrolling, when I'm doing the death scroll thing that we all do, a good portion of my stuff is fishing related things. I get Deion a lot. Deion is out pitching boats and trailers and tackle, and he's big in the fishing world. And then I'm watching college football national championship, and he's on commercials with Nick Saban, and all of that stuff takes a lot of time. All of that stuff takes a lot of time away from sitting in your office in Boulder and figuring out how to build a culture rather than finding the guys that don't show up in time for your stuff. I like in the sequence of things that are going to equal Deion Sanders not being the head coach at Colorado. This will be one of those factors. I believe that it's going to hurt his recruiting, that it'll hurt the team chemistry.
Colorado will never fire Deion, and meaning because they invested so much into him. The way this is going to end, the way this is going to end, is that Deion will resign for health reasons. He's had the bladder cancer, he's got the blood clots, and it'll just come down because of my health, my well-being. I got to take care of myself. I've got to step away from the game. He'll never get fired. Unless it got so bad that he didn't leave, then they'd leave him no choice. But it'd be one of those things. My prediction is when he exits Colorado, it will be for health reasons based on that. Let's bring in the man who's been sitting there for about 10 minutes.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, is everyone okay? Are we good?
Barely.
No.
Are we
always
good?
happy to
No.
help.
No. It's like Joe Dirt. It's like Joe Dirt. I had a brother that was like Kid Rock in Joe Dirt. When I'd fall and I'd go, I'm cool. He'd go, no, you're not.
No, you're not.
Nerd.
I like Van Halen, not Van Hagar. I love that movie.
That's
That's
a good one. It's totally goofy. I like David Spade.
Yeah.
I thought Black Sheep was underrated. I liked Tommy Boy and Black Sheep.
Like once. Tommy Boy, I like.
You haven't seen Black Sheep?
No, I've seen it like once.
Oh.
I don't think I've seen
Black Sheep. That's a fun one.
Who's in it?
It's Chris Farley and David
I haven't
Spade.
seen it. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
And Chris Farley's brother is running for governor of like Oregon or Washington. It's in Northwest
Washington, because
state.
he's got
Washington state?
Seahawks stuff in one of the scenes. I remember that.
Okay. That's funny that you remember that. Yeah. But then, so Tommy, or not Tommy, geez. Chris Farley is the black sheep of that family. And so in typical political fashion, they decide, hey, we need to hide the brother. During the election process, we got to get him so that he's not on TV, and because he's just a train wreck, right? He's a what was the Carter brother?
Oh,
what was Jimmy Carter's brother was God,
Billy.
Billy.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Was it Billy?
Billy Carter?
Billy Carter?
Don't
think
remember.
so.
Clinton had a brother that was a goofball too, right?
George, right?
No, not George Clinton. George Clinton's the Parliament Funkadelic.
Yeah, but Clinton had a brother.
Yeah, Clinton had a brother that was kind of a little bit of a black sheep as well. I mean, when your brother's the president, that's a pretty high freaking bar.
Billy Carter was Jimmy Carter's brother. You were correct.
He was a character. He was a character. He was like a true like rednecky. So yeah, Black Sheep is kind of a telling on that, but then David Spade is the political handler that has to take Chris Farley up into the wilderness of Washington to get him out and away from everything. Roger Clinton. Thank you, Driftless.
Did you guys know that Chris Farley was supposed to be the voice of Shrek? Have you heard
Yes,
this?
I did hear that. Yep. They had it basically all recorded when he died.
Yeah. Talk about, like, that would be a weird... Like, I've seen clips on YouTube of Chris Farley doing Shrek, and it's...
Why is it blanking
crazy.
on me who's the voice of Shrek?
Mike Myers.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike Myers. He does
But
the like
could you-
Scottish accent thing.
But yeah, which kind of fits for the time period, right?
Yeah.
I mean, could you imagine anybody else playing Shrek but Mike
Actually,
Myers?
yeah, Trav, you can find that audio out there of
Really?
Chris Farley doing it, and it totally makes sense.
Okay.
Because he's just got that big, goofy, you know what I mean?
Ogre,
it almost
that
fits.
ogre voice.
Yeah. That one.
Wow.
The other one that's always been fascinating to me is I loved Back to the Future when I was a kid.
Oh,
Loved that movie. And I've even heard that it's like they study it in college film classes as like a nearly perfect script, the way that it unveils characters and all that. I mean, again, way beyond my grasp of film. But they shot that entire thing with the kid from Mask. Eric
Stoltz?
Yeah. They shot that entire movie with him, and they got done, and they're like, "This ain't it. This ain't it." And Michael J. Fox had just finished up with like Family Ties, so like, well, maybe if we reshoot the scene, so that most of the movie is the original scene. They just reshot all the Michael J. Fox scenes and cut them in, and then there's one scene where Eric Stolstra, his name? No, that's I'm combining the name of the Miami coach. All right. Whatever that dude's name is, it was the actor. There's one scene in the diner when Biff Stoltz. When Biff goes to punch him, it's still Eric Stoltz.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Michael J. Fox, basically, when the movie produced, he was like, "Hey, I never shot that scene." They're like, "What?" They're like, "I never shot that scene." And if you slow it down, you can see that it's Eric Stoltz getting punched by him.
Does he get some money for that?
I have no idea.
No, he
Can
probably
he be
didn't
like,
get a
can
movie
I
credit
get
for it.
$100 for that one scene?
Probably got like paid for the time, but yeah, I bet he
For his
doesn't get.
time, yeah.
Wow.
And there was somebody else that was like the love interest. Didn't they bring in another? There was somebody else. There was a different female too that they replaced.
Really?
Yeah, and I forget who it was. Because Leah Thompson ended up being
Leah Thompson's the girl that's in it eventually, right?
Yeah. Huh.
Why do I feel like
I didn't
Elizabeth
know.
Shue-
I'd heard and seen the clips of Eric Stoltz and never connected who he was. Like, I've never seen Mask. And then last summer, I was watching Pulp Fiction, and it clicked. He's the dude that gives John Travolta the heroin.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God. That's who it is.
What Sean just wrote that into the thing. He says Eric Stoltz is the drug dealer in Pulp Fiction.
Of all the movies you remember him for, it's Pulp Fiction. Where's the heroin, man?
I need a black felt marker.
Did he give him the heroin or did he give him the EpiPen shot?
I think both.
Okay,
Yeah.
both.
Because
Okay.
he calls him and he's like, I'm coming to your house, man. She's ODing. And he's like, don't come to my house.
That's
Prank
right.
call. Prank call.
That's right.
That's what prank call. Yeah.
I gotta go. I've watched Pulp Fiction a lot. I gotta go watch. Now that you've said it, I'm gonna have to watch that again.
Oh, it's so good.
Even
Dude,
the
I'm not a
basement scene.
Travolta fan though. That guy is creepy to me.
But
Really?
he's
Can't
so
watch
good
anything
in
with
Pulp Fiction.
That's the best. That's the movie he's the best in. It's the one movie I can watch because he plays the creep.
Yeah.
He leans into the creepy.
The hair, all of it.
Grease to me is like Grease is a strange movie to me. I don't know what it is.
I love it.
Can't.
I love
It makes me feel weird.
I love Grease.
I watch it and I'm like, this just isn't right. None of this is right. This isn't the
watch
way
it
this
for the
goes.
music. I watch it to listen to the music. The music's good. It's a music.
You watch it for Rizzo. Don't lie. You love Rizzo.
No, Sandy. And no, actually, there's another one in there. I forget her name, but there's another one in there. Pretty good. Just saying. We didn't get to this. Justin and I were texting while I was on the plane last night, and that was Nebraska basketball. Got beat at Michigan. Got beat 75-72. They led like 38 minutes of that game. They didn't score the last 3.5 minutes. Missed 5 shots. Justin, I know Ross didn't watch it, but Justin, question for you: the shot that Michigan went up on, did you think that was a charge or did you think it was a defensive foul?
I thought it was a charge. So Megan will be like laying on the couch with me as I'm watching basketball. She's not paying attention. So I basically like talk to myself for 2 hours when I'm watching games. And when that happened, I was like, charge, and like pointing my arm like I'm the ref. And then when they just didn't call anything, I'm sitting there like that. I guess, but even in slow motion, they're showing the replay. I thought Hoiberg was there.
Well, I got a text from a ref that I know, or a former ref that I know, and I go, offensive? He goes, yes, very simple. Defense was there prior to the offensive player's last foot hitting the floor.
He's set.
But you know what? It's the time of the game. It's like we talked about that Arizona SWAT that against BYU. There's certain times of the game where you let things go, and that happens.
And to be honest, sorry, Ross.
No, you're fine, Justin. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I don't hate the no call. Like I'm actually because there was 20 seconds left, 30 seconds.
Yeah,
there was
I think
still time for Nebraska
could have hit a shot. They went ice cold, but their 24-game winning streak comes to an end. But you lose by 3 without 2 of your. I keep wondering who the best player in Nebraska's team is, and I don't know if I can name one. They're that deep. But they were missing 2 key players last night, and you play that well on the road at Michigan. I think that says a lot what Fred Hoiberg has done, who's taken a different approach. He's only coaching offense, man. He's got like a defensive coordinator. So in the timeouts, they focus on offense. Coach comes in, talks defense.
It's very smart. Know your strengths, stay in your lane. Very smart, and it's working out for him. What I was going to say earlier was Travis also has another retired college basketball official who told us that games do get called differently in those final seconds than they do in the opening. You might not like it, but they do. And they also know who the players are.
Absolutely.
And you might not like that. And you might look at that and go, that's not the way it should be. You're right.
But you know what? You could make the argument that happens in every sport, from superstars in the National Football League to the NBA. It's just your brand, your value gets you a little. You don't think Caitlin Clark got away with more? I mean, even though she was teed up a lot.
Because I was just about to say the only place it didn't apply was for Caitlin Clark. They actually let her get the crap beat out of her rather than the other way around.
But I mean, she could have been teed up a lot more than maybe she was, and she was teed up a lot. I think she got some great. But you bring up a good point, Ross. The WNBA, I think she got away with a lot more. No, in the WNBA,
your point stands.
Yes. Yeah.
Have you seen the clip of the ref talking to Jordan when Jordan, I think this is like Wizards, Jordan, and he's like, how's that not a foul? And the ref seriously almost coddles him where he's like, oh, I'm so sorry, Michael. Did I miss it? I'll get it next time. And I'm like,
it's the old joke about Ted Williams. It's the old joke about Ted Williams, right? Pitcher throws a ball right down the middle. Catcher catches the ball, freezes. It's not called a strike. He looks back to the umpire. He's like, that's right down the middle. And the umpire says, Mr. Williams will let you know when it's a strike.
All right, boys. Hit the music cue there, Ross Peterson.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, here we go. Look at that.
Yeah. Show flew by. Hopefully we'll do this all again tomorrow. But Justin, be on standby tomorrow. You never know what the Wi-Fi is going to be like in here. Okay?
Ready.
You be on standby. Everybody, thanks for listening today. We're back tomorrow. Go to therushladio.com. Go to the promo tab. Enter your weekly woohoo. We got that from the Iowa Lottery all set up. Tell us who your woohoo is, and we'll still do the call-ins, but we want a different way to enter. It's the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
Start spreading the news, 'cause it's time to buy booze, and there's only one place to be. You can see all your friends, the good times never end, unless you're just loitering. It's Central City, we can make your dreams come true. No guarantee your dreams will come true. Central City, all this booze is waiting for you. Look at all this booze.
Hi, Noel from Fiscus Jewelers. Thinking about popping the question? Take their breath away with a diamond you can trust. Rare and forever natural diamonds. Thoughtfully selected and pre-screened using advanced technology. If you don't see exactly what you're looking for, we'll custom design it together. Our experienced team is here to help you create something truly meaningful. And let's not forget about the guys. We proudly offer the largest selection of men's wedding bands around. Fiscus Jewelers, your jeweler for life.
New year, new lease on life. or on a new Nissan Kicks. Right now, we have a $299 per month lease on our 2026 Kicks SB. Also, take advantage of 0% financing on our 2026 Rogues and Muranos and our remaining 2025 Pathfinders. And we are thrilled to have the all-new 2026 Nissan Sentra on our lot. This sporty compact sedan is ready to carry you through the new year in style. For more information, stop into our showroom or visit us online at willisnissan.com.
Iowa Wolves basketball. Fast, loud, right on top of the action. Every play hits harder when you're in the building. Now it can hit even bigger. Win cash in a VIP Timberwolves trip from the Iowa Lottery. Play Cash Frenzy for your chance to win instantly. Didn't win? Enter non-winning tickets into the VIP club for a shot at courtside seats with the Iowa Wolves or a Timberwolves getaway.
Game on, keep your edge with Body Armor Sports Drink. Bold flavors, electrolytes, and hydration that goes the distance. Grab Body Armor before the grind, during the game, and after the win. Body Armor Sports Drink. Hydration that's real and better for you. Pick up Body Armor Sports Drink on your next grocery store run or convenience store trip.
Missing a quality, home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
The following advertisement is for people who like to save money.
Do you or a loved one suffer from chronic overspending, getting less but paying more? Then you may have a case of big HVAC. Now is the time to try Priority One. We set our own prices, which means you pay for what you need, not for anything else. And if you need a heating service or new furnace, now is the time to try Priority One.
Side effects of Priority One include increased happiness, extra peace of mind, and bonus cash for whatever you want. Please use responsibly.
Back to the rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.